Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the More Survivalists and bringing you a perspective that you haven't seen anywhere else. Something that is barely even mentioned, the idea of Commie Pope Francis supporting the attack by dictator Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, staying silent when he should be speaking up. Pope condemns war in Ukraine but doesn't name Putin. This was brought to my attention by something I was reading from Clarín website, which is a media from Argentina. It's a media outlet it's probably one of the largest ones in the country, but it's privately owned by a more conservative, traditional family, and it's usually been on the opposite side of the left. Usually, not always, but usually you can have there's a fair chance there's going to be a bit of a struggle there, especially with the left in Argentina, the Kirchner mafia running the country still. First it was Néstor Kirchner, then his wife, and then his secretary now, her secretary being the president of the country following her orders. But here it says, from Rome, el Papa Francisco, Pope Francis explains why he doesn't mention Vladimir Putin and says he's not attacking the Argentine press, because he just refuses to mention Vladimir Putin and Ukraine. And this is a lie of his. He explains that he doesn't mention any world leaders, which is not true. He does all the time, and he actually called for people to defend and protect Cristina Kirchner back in the day. But going back to the topic of Ukraine, this is very interesting how Pope Francis has been giving his support to Vladimir Putin over the years. 3 visits from Vladimir Putin. Last one is actually well documented here when he visited the Vatican in 2019. This is a full year after the first invasion of Russia entering Ukraine, crossing the border, attacking a sovereign neighboring nation, and saying, oh, these are just some of our guys having a bit of fun over there on the Ukrainian side. Look at the body language, facial expression, welcoming. When do you see this damn man smile as much as you see him here? He's happy. He's along there with his buddy. You first. No, you. I insist. Okay, thank you so much. This is so telling how these two get along. He's whitewashing his image after attacking a sovereign nation, after attacking Ukraine, annexing territory left and right. No, that's all good. Not a problem. You're welcome to the Vatican, and we're going to be talking business and how we continue our commie agenda all over the world. How are things going in Europe? Yeah, we're doing our advances. How are things going in Latin America? More commies over there? Yeah, sure. Support? Yeah. Venezuela. We have our forces in Chile burning farms down, and we have Russian TV in Spanish also doing their work and spreading the commie propaganda. But this is in 2019, a full year after Russia first attacked and invaded Ukraine and creating these autonomous regions, which is just, annexing them eventually to their own country. Just more lies and excuses. But it is interesting to notice that you barely find any mention of this. You don't see. Why is it? Is it impossible for the Pope to mention Vladimir Putin as the dictator attacking and slaughtering people? Well, apparently that's too much to ask for from the Pope. But you shouldn't be surprised. Commies stick together. This is something I want you guys to understand. Look at the human rights activists call from the indictment of Russian Patriarch Kirill. This Kirill Patriarch is, again, another ally of Pope Francis. Pope says June meeting with Russian Orthodox leader is off. This is from Reuters. And this is off because this man, the Patriarch of Russia, is an outspoken supporter of the war in Ukraine. This is pals with Pope Francis, and this man here on the left is supporting a holy war in Ukraine. And this man over here, leader of the Catholic Church, has been put in such a position that he cannot even meet with this man anymore because this is shameful. Because this is supporting directly the massacre of an entire nation by a power-driven dictator like Putin. And this is reaching a point where it's downright ridiculous. We've reached a point, guys, you don't see it. And it's amazing. And I understand why you don't see it. Because you are being attacked left and right. This is why you're not seeing it. You're not seeing that the Western media is not against Vladimir Putin. They're actually whitewashing the entire war quite a bit. Just mentioning a little bit here and there, minimal amounts as to save face. That's it. Just a little bit of mentioning a little bit of an article here. Not, remember when you had, when they were going after Trump? Remember when they were going after Trump? It was full page above the scroll. Above the scroll is this. When you have to scroll down, this is prime real estate in media. Above the scroll. Above the scroll, you would have an entire page. Look at how many. This is what? Less than 25% is dedicated to the war in Ukraine. By CNN! This is fucking CNN! And they're giving it a tiny little picture, and then there's other stuff going on in the world. But this is really not that important anymore. Have you even heard of this woman? Of course not. This woman is a bloody hero that died recently. Olenga Kushner, Sergeant Major, Medical of the Ukrainian National Guard. This woman died fighting and saving lives, doing both things according to her own accounts. She was both fighting and saving those wounded in Mariupol in Ukraine. And she another casualty, another person that died. These would probably be labeled as, this is very different from the Instagram model that Miss Ukraine that just took a picture, and doing what Instagrammers do and having her Ukrainian little flag there. Well, this is not the case. This woman died fighting for her country and stayed there to fulfill, according to her own words, fulfill her duty as a Ukrainian. This is her husband. Her husband also died fighting Russians in that same city. After her husband died, she sent her son with family away, and she stayed there herself. Why? I don't know. Maybe she felt compelled to stay there. Maybe because of her medical skills, she felt that she had to stay there. There's people like that. There's people that feel a very strong duty, and that's the way it is. Let me know if this woman wouldn't have been a fantastic article to have over in CNN. You know how much this is mentioned? None. There's not if you do this yourself, don't let me do it for you. Olenga Kushner, look this name, Sergeant Major, put her name along with CNN, Fox, and look it up on Google and see what you come across. Nothing. There's not a damn thing. There's not even mention of this woman dying like a hero, which she is, in the Spanish-speaking press. You know why? Because they are really not on the side of... No one is on the side of Ukraine. This is why Ukraine was attacked in the first place, because they have no allies. You think Germany didn't know about the possibility of this happening? You think... When Trump was accusing the leaders of the different European countries about, hey, you're part of NATO, but you keep on buying fuel from Russia. And then he got the memo. You don't even mention that. We are signing the weapons contract. That's all fine and good, and NATO, but Russia's not going to be attacking any NATO country. That's why Ukraine is not allowed to go into the NATO group or into the European Union group either. They're left on their own because the guy, Vladimir Putin, the richest man, most powerful man in the world, wants to get a go at it, and we're letting him. We're letting him because we're all part of the same group. We're all part of the elite, the rich, that basically makes all of these decisions. And even though you hear from the Democrats in the United States, oh yeah, this is terrible. We're going to be sending planes. We're going to be sending troops. No, we're not going to be sending troops. We don't even mention that. But we're letting that, people talk about how boots on the ground. Hell no, I'm not going to be dying for some country. Don't worry. You're not going to be dying for anything. There's not going to be any boots on the ground in Ukraine. You're not sending any planes to Ukraine either. No fighter jets are being sent to Ukraine. They were not sent when they were desperately needed, and you're not going to be sending them now. Not US, not Germany, or the rest of the European countries, or UK for that matter. UK is flooded with Russian oligarch money. They own that city. And you think that just Boris Johnson visiting and putting a little bit of a show over there makes any difference? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Ukraine has no friends. Ukraine is on its own because this man wanted Ukraine, and this man is allowed to get Ukraine by the most bloody, vicious methods known to man. Folks, it's gonna be all for now. Use your head, see all of this going on, because it's quite clear if you add them all together, you see all the whitewashing. Again, these images, this was a year after Russia first invaded Ukraine. No, you first. No, okay. Oh yeah, we're such good pals. It is shameful. It is terrible, but it's being hidden by the media all over the world. Guys, see you on the next video. Take care, man.